Although the voices in my head aren't real, they have a lot of great ideas. And that's just like us. We all have a lot of great ideas, right? We have ideas, we think of things that we'd like to do, that we'd like to make, but often they say, it's really easy to come up with ideas, but it's all about the execution. And for a long time, executing those ideas was really, really hard. You had to get a lawyer to protect your copyright. You had to find somebody to make the product. You had to find somebody to market the product. I mean, it was just hard. We know this from firsthand because my father-in-law patented something in the mid-90s. It's tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. Never had anything to show for it. Well, there's something new on the scene. It's called Quirky. And with Quirky, which takes promising ideas from development to manufacturing to distribution, individual people can now take ideas and see their ideas go to market. What Quirky does, it's an outlet for inventors to test their ideas. It goes out and people vote it up or down. They look at it, they refine it. They say, hey, maybe we could make this better. What if you made it red instead of blue? What if you made it a little bit bigger? What if you added this feature? And then if it gets selected, it gets marketed. Imagine if you were this young man right here. Quirky's not all that new. This is from 2011. And this young man's on the subway and sees someone wearing something that was his idea. It went through Quirky, it got made, it got produced, somebody bought it, and he sees somebody wearing something that was his idea. That's pretty cool. So what's this Quirky thing? Well, it's not always great. It's an article from the Wall Street Journal in 2014 that says they have some hits, they have some misses. Their hits are really good. Some of you may have seen this. It's carried at Walmart and Target and other places. That's sold over 1.5 million units of this. It's a pivotable power strip. So if you're dealing with those little AC adapters and all that, you can get those plugs out of the way. Or this is a smart air conditioner that is sold, not as many units, but at $300 a pop, and you multiply it out, it's a lot of money. I have one of these myself, and I brought it in here. I still have the box. I got it a year ago. Passed this around. But this keeps your cables. And it's really heavy, it's weighted, and it keeps your cables from getting out of the way on your desk. Or my wife loves these. She found these, well, more this other one for this. We found these at Walmart, and they're just little things for tying back curtain, keeping pencils together, knowing where your keys are. Again, somebody looked at it and said, hey, what if we could have that? Went to the crowd said yes, and they made it. They're not all that good. This one here, the egg minder. At $80 a pop, tell you how many eggs you had left in the refrigerator. Sold a few thousand units, no longer available. But how does it work? I mean, this sounds great, right? But let's get down to how does it really work. So what it does is you submit your idea. You go to the site, create a profile, and submit your idea. Completely free, costs nothing to try it out. Then people just help you decide. You put it out there, you put it out on your Facebook, your Twitter, you tell people, hey, come look at my idea. Give me suggestions, vote it up, vote it down, tell me if you like it. During that process, it's called influence and earn. And while they're doing that, people are influencing your project, and once it starts getting made, you start earning. So how does this influence and earn work? Well, what happens is they set aside 10% of all the gross sales, the money from the gross sales of the product once it's made and start being sold, set aside for everybody that helped contribute to that product. And this is the really cool thing. If you look at this chart right here, the person who had the idea gets 40% of that pie. But everyone else along the way, even if they just said, you know what, maybe if you tweak this or maybe if you tweak that, they're called an influencer. They have a piece of that influence pie and they make money too. So if you're part of the assembled crowd team that takes that product to market, you make money. As I mentioned, they set aside that 10%. So what does this mean? Well, I'm going to show you one here. People always like to show you the outlier, right? They like to talk about the projects on Kickstarter that made over $1 million when most of them don't. Well, I'm the same way, but this is really cool. There's this person profile named Lemonhead. He says he's anonymous because he has a day job that has nothing to do with Quirky. According to an article on, well actually this was according to Quirky forums, he's never submitted an idea. All he's done was vote and influence and refine other ideas, and total earnings is $207,000 from influencing other products, even though he's never submitted a single idea on his own. That's pretty darn cool. Once something gets to what's called the evaluation stage, then it gets to the point where they're going to take it to market. They find somebody to make it using lean marketing principles, and it starts being available in many shopping venues, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. So they market it, they make it for you. So you put the idea out, You could just have the idea, sit back and let other people influence, and then you would start earning. And then the world prospers, and there's kind of a small print there, and some of these slides are from the Quirky site, but what it's saying is the world's prospering now, because you have people like Lemonheads who never even had the ideas making money, you have the inventors who are making money, and the world has a product that it wouldn't otherwise have had. So where can you get these things? Well, right from the Quirky shop. On the Quirky site itself, there's a Quirky shop where you can go in and you can sort through and then buy things. Or Walmart, as I mentioned, Walmart itself has its own section on its website called the Quirky store. And now that I've pointed this out, you'll start seeing these things in Walmart. The cables that I pass around, we just bought in Walmart about 2 weeks ago. Likewise, Bed Bath & Beyond had a dedicated section of their site to Quirky products. Target also has a dedicated section to their Quirky products. And Amazon, which many people, that's their primary shopping venue anyway, Amazon also has a separate area for just Quirky products. So Quirky takes everyday people like you and me that have these ideas that were just in our head before, and lets you take them to the crowd, decide if people want them, get it made, start selling it, make money. That's Quirky business.